Hello, greetings from Mexico City. I'm Marilu Lopez, and I'm delighted to welcome you to this session. That I'm so excited because this session is a session to share among friends a very great news that it's that my first book, my first one, Data Strategies for Data Governance, is already out there for you. So uh, this is a party to celebrate, to share with you, and to celebrate with very good friends of mine. And I would like to first welcome in this session uh, Steve Hoberman. Steve Hoberman, please join us. Thank you.
Hey,
I'm glad to.
Marilu, congratulations. I'm
Thank
Steve
you.
Hoberman. I am the founder and director of Technics Publications. We have been publishing books on data for over 20 years, and we feel our books really help change people's lives. We feel that they help people grow, they help them become stars in their organizations. And over the years, we've published books like The Dimbach and quite a few other amazing titles. I could probably spend a few minutes just rattling them off from some of the people who are joining us today. But very excited to talk today about data strategies for data governance. Congratulations, Marilu. Great.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You have been so important in this adventure. And the idea of this session is precisely to share with you what this book is about, how it came to life, and what you can find in that book. So we are going to cover that during the session. Stay with us. But this wouldn't be a real dream come true if it wasn't for two special people. The first one, Danette McGilvray, my mentor in this adventure. Welcome, Danette.
Mary Lou, it's great to be here. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And the second angel, I always say that Danette was an angel that my mom sent from above the clouds. And the second angel, very important to me, is Laura Sebastian Coleman. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you so much, Mary Lou, for inviting me to participate in this, and congratulations on your book. I'm really, really happy for you and excited for everybody now to be able to read it. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And well, some people have asked me why this book is in English, because my colleagues in Latin America said, and why it isn't in Spanish if you speak Spanish? My mother tongue is Spanish, not English. So it was a great challenge for me to write it in English. But the main reason to do that was that I wanted to share it and to exchange my ideas with the best thought leaders in this area in data management, besides Danette and Laura. And that's why I invited to participate in this book through some interviews. I invited Melanie Mecca, that is a thought leader on data management maturity models. I admire her very much for that. I use her model that she defined, the DMM, when I got in touch with data management practice. So welcome, Melanie. Thank you for being here.
Delighted.
And well, part of my life is half of my life is Data International, because I have been involved with that splendid organization for data management for over 8 years now. And my first contact was on data ramping up the chapter in Mexico, DEMA chapter in Mexico. We ran several conferences there. There's how I met Melanie in one of those conferences. And I also had the pleasure to meet James Price in one of those conferences. And James is here with us. Welcome, James. And I'm so delighted that you participated in my book and that you're here. Thank you.
Marilu, again, everybody's going to congratulate you on this. There is, writing a book is seriously hard. It is seriously hard work, and the fact that you've done this and in your second language is an astonishing achievement. So, well, very, very well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much, James. And I remember it was at the same conference in Dama, Mexico, where I met James, that Tom Redman also was one of our guests there. And ever since, well, I have replied his very pragmatic way to approach data quality. So welcome, Tom. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for including me in the development of the book, and thank you for inviting me today. I was just reflecting. I think you always remember when your first child is born. You remember, your first kiss, and you remember the day your first book comes out. And so I hope you just enjoy this day and get to reflect on it for a very, very
Yeah, very, very, very much. You can be sure about that. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And one special person for me, because this person I met like 29 years ago when I was working in the bank, and he came to help us guiding the data warehouse implementation. And I remember something very special he taught me that day. And he said, Marilu, if you take a report and you are not able to tell where the data printed there came from, you are not managing data. And I have kept that in not only in my mind, but in my heart for so many years. And I'm now so sure that those words are very, very valid, very true. So I want to welcome Bill Inman.
Thank you, Marilu. I appreciate being here, and I congratulate you. Unfortunately, I can't get my camera to work, but I've been told that I'm better looking when my camera is muted like this anyway. But in any case, I want to echo what Tom said. Holding your first book in your hands is like holding your baby in your hand. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, all of you, for being here and for having helped me through all this journey. Well, let's get started then, and let's tell people thank you for all of those that are joining us at this moment in different parts of the world. Thank you, Bob Sainer. Thank you for being here. Very good friend, Cecilia Izquierdo. Thank you, Elena Cangas. Thank you from Hawaii. Ooh, that's so exciting to seeing people from all over the place, from Colombia. Rocio, welcome. Thank you for being here. And well, I hope all of you find what we are going to share in this session interesting, and I really hope that you can give a chance to the method that I'm going to describe in a moment. So we have organized this session in three parts. So the very first part after the welcoming is just to let you know what this is about, what you can find in the book, and how it came to life. What was that motivated me to think about the book? Okay, so let's go to the first part, how it got started. What happened with this? I have always wanted to write something. I didn't know what, but I wanted to write something. And I remember that it was December 2021, after the pandemic, the very first event, very first conference that I attended in person was the Data Governance Information Quality, DGIQ, it was in San Diego. And I had the honor to meet a lot of good friends there. But I remember one day over the lunch, I was sharing the table with Danette McGilvray. And I just mentioned, like, whatever other thing very informally that I wanted to write a book someday. And because she was collecting signatures on her book. And I said, oh, I want to be like you carrying my book. And it was 10 minutes after that she was close to me and giving me a lot of advice on how to write a book. So something was found in by Danette on the ideas that I share, but I would like her to tell us why she accepted to be my mentor and to guide me through all this wonderful experience. Danette.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Marilu. So I really also remember that exact lunch. In fact, just before this, and I at that lunch, so I actually have recorded the photo where this conversation took place that Marilu was just talking about. And I had met Marilu, I would guess maybe about 3 years before that. So we always talked to each other at conferences when we'd see each other. So when we were having that lunch, and she was talking about some of these ideas about strategies, and she was talking about how she'd put these strategies, and she had been using this business canvas model. And I was really, really intrigued with it. It sounded so interesting. And so that was when I said to Marilu, hey, when she mentioned that she was thinking of writing a book. And so I think we just connected on that and picked up on that and kept talking about it. And I know that when I've written my books, I have two books, the first and second edition, about my 10 steps to quality data. And you never write a book alone. And so it was the encouragement that I had from other people, introductions, and I am so enthusiastic about having people share their ideas. I love having new ideas. I really care about this whole data management community. So when I heard the ideas that Marilu had, I really thought it would be good for our community to be able to learn from her and learn from those ideas. So that was really what got me excited. And besides the fact that Marilu is like, she is this bundle of energy. so she's like this bundle of energy, and she gets this idea and she does not sit on it for more than 10 seconds. And like the idea was off and it was going, and we've been communicating about it. I did end up doing some deep review, but I will tell you, I'm as excited as everyone else to see the final product, because it is different with the final product than from the manuscript in the Word document with with the graphics and the text in a Word document. So to see the whole thing with the layouts and everything, I'm really, really excited about that. So I think it's just really important that we celebrate the fact that I think this is one of the first books by a woman out of Latin America in our data community. And I think that's a great accomplishment. And I think it's worth noting. So, yeah, Marilu, I am so happy that we've been able and being involved in the process. And I not only consider you, a colleague and someone I can learn from, but a very good friend. And I really appreciate everything you've done. And I echo what everyone said, because it is really, really hard to write a book, and it is hard to keep to keep enthusiastic. You have ups and downs. And so, Marilu, you've done great, and I'm really happy that I can be here to support you today.
Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for all your support, all your guidance. You're my Sherpa, and best of all, my excellent friend. Thank you for this. And well, once this lady convinced me to write a book, the first thing I did was a project. I documented the project, the proposal. And I remember sending that to Laura Sebastian Coleman. Uh, and I must mention that I had the chance to coordinate the translation and doing the edit to the Spanish translation, the Spanish edition of the DM book, the Guide of Data Management from DAMA International. And I remember while doing all that hard work, thinking about Laura Sebastian Coleman, who was the editor of the DM book. And I said, no, that's crazy. I will never done that from the original documents and collecting all the ideas and whatever. But that moved me to ask her to review my proposal just to tell me if she thought it was a good idea to write it. And the hello, the, the way in which she edited and gave me the feedback on my proposal, my first proposal, was amazing. So that's what moved me to ask her to edit my book. And but I'm sure she had something, she saw something to tell me, yes, I can do that. So, Laura, why don't you share that with us?
Yeah. So um, I'll start by saying, Marilu, that part of the reason I wanted to be involved with this project was simply you. Uh, when you asked me to speak at DAMA Mexico, it was one of the nicest experiences that I've had in terms of, you know, giving conference papers and seminars and stuff. DAMA Mexico was so energetic. Your colleagues there were awesome. And I just felt completely welcomed. And I was so excited to see what you guys were doing as a DAMA chapter. I thought it was great. I mean, I really enjoyed talking to you at conferences and getting to know you before that event, but especially, you know, having been there in your home space and meeting all the friends that you have from DAMA Mexico. I totally enjoyed that. The other thing that really got me excited about doing this project was the focus on strategy and your concept of this multiple set of strategies and how to approach them. So I think most of us who've been working in this space for any time will say, you know, we need to take a strategic view of data. We need to approach the problems we're trying to solve from a strategic perspective. But there hasn't been a lot written that says how you actually do that. And so you're taking up this methodology, this Canvas methodology, and laying out the components and talking through what it means from a governance perspective, from a management perspective, from a data overall perspective, and how to tie everything to all those aspects to business strategy and business outcomes. I thought I was actually, when I thought about it, I'm surprised that no one had really pulled that together previously because there was such a need for it. So I was excited to read the book. I was excited to have the conversations with you that back and forth as I was trying to make sure that I understood what you were getting across. It was a true learning experience for me, and I appreciated the opportunity. So those were the drivers for me. And I'm really happy to see the outcome. And I love the cover, Steve, by the way. So.
Oh, I'm glad you like it. Let me tell you that, well, this session is being supported by Treehouse in Mexico. Treehouse is my marketing digital marketing agency. Well, it's not mine, it's my son's, but he has been so supportive, and not only him, but all his team. And that guy on screen is the author of the cover. And I just told him, he's part of Treehouse, and I just told him that it has to be Canvas. It has to be related to Canvas, and he grabbed the idea very, very quickly. I'm going to tell you in a while, I'm a lover of canvases, and that's why I'm wearing my Mondrian's design blouse today, because it makes me think of canvases. Thank you to Treehouse and all the support. And I will tell you about something else that they have done for a live book, because this book is not only a static idea. I'm going to tell you this at the end, what you can find along with the book. So thank you very much, Laura, for all your support. You have been my best English teacher ever. Thank you. But even with these two angels that my mom sent me to here to be in my road, this book wouldn't be a reality today if Steve hadn't thought that it could be a good book. That, well, I don't know if good or not, but he gave me the chance to publish this. So why, Steve? What did you see in this? Because let me tell you that Steve is a very, very, very pragmatic person. And my method is a pragmatic, agile, and communicable method. So one thing I like about Steve, that he immediately responds, yes or not, whatever. And he said, yes. Why?
Yeah. So actually, 2 points that Laura brought up, very relevant to what I was going to share as well. And one was that this, why hasn't anyone written a kind of book like this before? So right away, when you were describing the idea to me, and you included Danette and Laura on our initial emails, and they had a chance to look at the outline first, I knew this is going to be an amazing book, because they had a chance to look at it, and I respect Danette and Laura very much. Danette, I actually have her books behind me here, and Laura as the production editor for DM2 and author of The Labyrinth, Navigating the Labyrinth. So right away, I'm thinking this is going to be a home run. And then when you started sharing some of the initial chapters, I realized that I was right, because Marilu, you're a very warm person, and in reading the chapters, it came across. I always love, when I love reading a book, I love as if the author is with me in the room, and you write like you speak, and you also write with a lot of precision. So even in the early chapters, I realized that, this will really help out a lot of people. And we go through a pretty strict selection process today in deciding what books to publish. There are so many books out there on data and data strategy and data governance and data management. And we're looking for those niches written by people who can really explain how to do it. So when Laura mentioned a few minutes ago that what makes the book unique too is it's kind of a how-to book, that right away I'm thinking you can help out an incredible number of people that way, because it's not just a book on, okay, this is data strategy, this is why it's important, but this is how you apply it. Step 1, step 2, step 3. And those are the kind of books that can really improve people's lives, let them grow at work, let them become the stars. As we started getting into the details of publishing, and I think it was James in the beginning who said how difficult it is to actually write a book. It's a painful process. I think also, in addition, the reason writing is hard, writing is hard, that's one thing, but I think another challenge is being able to describe it with imagery. So Bill Inman, who's on the call, is an expert in this area. His images he can come up with one image that, might take 5 or 10 pages to describe it. He's able to do that. It takes probably years of experience. And Marilu, you did something similar. A lot of your images in the book are, they say a lot. And I think a large part of it is the writing. And I think an even larger part is some of those images you have in there. So here's how you create a book. There's 3 channels we go through. One channel is the writing and editing channel. One channel is the cover design. And one channel is the boring stuff that the publisher does, like register with the Library of Congress and let Amazon know the book's on its way. And Marilu made the hardest channels very easy for me because the book arrived in a very well-edited state to begin with. And also, as Marilu mentioned, her son's company designed the cover. So I actually did not have that much work to do. I did editing. We went back and forth a few times. Marilu creates these amazing project plans that we would get every week or every other week showing the progress. So I just got to read and enjoy the book and offer some feedback here and there. I love, we wanted to make sure, and actually the book is going to be the same size, Danette, as your books, because we could not find a way to take away anything out of the figures because they're so important, and we didn't want them to be difficult to read. So that's why you'll see a larger trim size to capture that. And I enjoyed the experience very much. Everyone was talking about your first book. It was like your first baby, but I actually think the first book, it's more like an addiction. Once you start writing, you're going to want to keep writing. And you could probably ask Bill that, and Bob Steiner that, and Todd Redman, and Laura, and Danette. But I think there might be a trilogy here at least. I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Steve, very much for all your words. And I have found myself saying several times, my first book. So that opens the door to the next one. And I already have ideas of the next one. But it's like the kids. I will try to enjoy this one first before attempting to do any other one. So thank you very much. But now you may be asking what this is all about. You already heard that this is really on the how. And just let me give you a couple of things on my background. I dedicated most of my professional life to the same company, the same organization in the financial sector. And I decided to retire almost 5 years ago from corporate life. And the very first project that I had to work as a consultant was precisely to help an organization to define their data strategies. So at that moment, I knew I could tell what the data strategy was not, or what something that I had in front of me was not a complete data strategy, and complete by the sense of talking about all the needs in the organization and guiding my work. I had the chance to create the first data governance office in my former organization where I was an employee, and I had no idea how to do that. So I started my research trying to find something out there, and I found a lot of things on why data strategy is important and why we should have one, but I didn't find anything on how. So I knew that I needed to have step by step on what I was going to produce. So that's how I came up with this idea, this method. And before being involved in data management, I was an enterprise architect, and defining a course for my architects in the bank where I was working. I remember I learned for the first time about the business model canvas produced by Alex Osterwalder. So that was my main source of inspiration. And I thought, if this has been so powerful for depicting whatever company business model in a single slide, why shouldn't it be used for data strategies? So that's how I came up with this method that we can see in a slide in a moment. The method is comprised of three elements, three main elements. The first one was or is a framework of the different data strategies, because I believe that data strategy is not in the singular concept but a plural one. So there are different pieces of data strategy all working together to guide the activities that you need to do for any data related initiative to be successful. But all of those have to be interconnected and related to the business strategy, the objectives. That's the idea. That's the whole idea. And that's what I show in the next slide, please, which is the data strategies framework. Well, this one is the complete set of elements of the PAC data strategy PAC method. The PAC stands for pragmatic because no one has time to dedicate to data strategies. That sounds like something very hard and difficult to do. So we always need to we are always in a rush, and the agendas of the stakeholders are always very, very tight. So the framework is the first element that gives us the way in which we can relate different strategies. So that is the P of PAC, pragmatic. The second is agile. We need to be very agile on the way of doing the data strategies. We can go interviewing stakeholder by stakeholder and everyone thinking that their problems are the best or the most important in the organization. No, we need to bring them together. So that's the purpose of the second component, which is a set of different canvases, all inspired in the business model canvas, but addressing the different data strategies. And the third component is a set of 10 steps that was inspired on the next 10 steps to data quality. I said, oh, I also have 10 steps, but these are to create the data strategies and to embed the strategies into the business strategic planning. So that's what we can see in the next slides, a little bit bigger, but that's the idea of what you are going to find in the book. So that's the framework, the data strategies framework, which also was inspired on Donna Burbank's framework. That was the closest thing that I found when I did my research uh, related to the how to address data strategies, how to find the place where they sit among all the data landscape. And but I still needed to include all the other elements, like my other main source of inspiration, which is Dama's framework, the wheel. The wheel, all the elements of the wheel are now those boxes that you have in the middle of this framework. And well, this is the framework, the first component. The second component is the next slide, the set of canvases. Canvases look very simple thing, and you can see, come on, this is a template on a PowerPoint. How could it be valuable? But the thing is that it is simple, but it has a lot of work behind. But the idea is to be able to tell people in a single slide what the priorities are in data governance or data management, or the priorities on picking the different data domains to address the different problems the organization may have related to data. So that's the core thing that you're going to find. And the book will take you step by step after presenting all the context, so you can understand all the theories and all the reference frameworks that work as inspiration for this, you can find step by step what you need to do to conduct your meetings with your stakeholders to produce this data strategies and overall to embed them in the strategic planning in your organization. So that's the idea, and that's what you're going to find. This book is targeted then to data practitioners, either on the business side or on IT side, and overall to the data governance leads, because those are the ones that need to orchestrate all this work. So this is targeted to them, and well, that's what you're going to find in the book. And one very relevant thing, and that's what I was mentioning, the reason for writing it first in English was to involve the ideas of very relevant thought leaders in this data management community. And I grabbed from other book that I was reading that included some interviews, and I said, okay, why don't I go and ask some good friends what they think about data strategy, what their experience has been, because my experience has been that I don't find data strategies, holistic data strategies in the organizations, but most of the times what I find is data strategies very oriented to technology platforms and how to move to the cloud or how to create a data lake or how to use whatever edge technologies are out there, but missing the link with the business and the business needs. So that's how I would like to start by asking Melanie, how how do you feel, Melanie, once reading this book, that this proposal can be aligned or related to the use of a data management maturity model?
Well, I'm delighted to comment on that. Since I'm sort of Madam Enterprise Data Management Program Evaluator and Roadmap Creator, that's my niche within a niche. And I loved this book because I respect method, the thoughtful way that Marilu has decomposed high-level activities, engaging the business and technology and data management, to come up with what, in the best possible use of the word, is a comprehensive cookbook for all of the clients that I've worked with for the past 10 years doing this type of work, who say, I don't know how to create a data strategy. What's a data management strategy? And they'll also say, what's the difference between data management and data governance? Many of you on the call, I'm sure, get that question all the time at conferences. And I devote time in my courses to disambiguate these two permanent functions that have to work together. So Marilu has, I totally respect the detail and thoughtfulness and depth of her method, of her steps, her very fine sense of business process that she's integrated into this book, and her reference to solid work products, policies, processes, standards that stem from a data strategy. With my work with clients, I'm always telling them, don't skimp your effort on the data management strategy, getting the most out of the data assets. Don't go right to the technology, because if you do in your data strategy effort, you will leave some important things out that your organization has to do. So Marilu has it all covered. My company motto is head in the clouds, feet on the ground. And I think that encapsulates this data strategy book, so that anyone with a little bit of interest and who has a little bit of patience to follow her through the steps would be able to be a valuable participant and contributor to their organization's data strategy. And it is a lot of work. She did slip that in. She said it's a lot of work. So gotta pay your dues if you want to play the blues, and it don't come easy. So we all know that. And she's made it easier by her hand holding and her elucidation and her, she's even gone beyond that, and she has directly tackled some of our industry's terms of art. Like, what does it mean to be data driven? Marilu is going to tell you. What is data literacy? She's going to tell you. What do we mean by digital transformation? She's going to tell you. So even beyond her step-by-step approach, there is tremendous knowledge and depth to this book. So I think everyone should grab a copy and start using it.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. And well, I always say that we need data strategies for whatever we need to do in terms of data. But for those efforts around putting the data ready to be consumed by people working on the business intelligence area or the analytics, now that everyone wants to have advanced analytics, how data strategies work and are supported for that. So I would like to hear that from Bill Inman, who is the father of the data warehouse and that I admire so much. So Bill. I think we are not hearing you, Bill. Okay, we can come in a minute with Bill while he fixes his mic. Okay, we can hear you now. We can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, God, thank you.
If there ever was a need in our industry for strategy, it is today. That data management is, quite frankly, lost. There's a lot of reasons why data management is not IT management, not just data management, but IT management has been wandering around in the forest for years and years, and they are lost, and they need all the help that they can get. And there's a lot of reasons why IT management is lost in the forest. But if you stop and think about it, the IT profession is an immature profession. Now, people don't like to hear the word immature, but when you compare IT to engineering, to accounting, to medicine, it's no contest. The walls of Rome, if you've been to Rome, were built 2,000 years ago by an engineer. If you go to Egypt, you find that the hieroglyphics on the walls of the pyramids of Egypt were 3,000 years old, and there's some accountant talking how much grain is owed the Pharaoh. If you go to the caves of Chile, you find that medicine apparently was practiced in a crude form 10,000 years ago. So when you start to compare the IT profession to other professions, it's simply a historical fact that the IT world is immature. It's just simply, it's not an arguable fact. It's simply a true fact. And as such, the IT management needs all the help it can get when it comes to strategy. And I look for Marilu's contribution as a wonderful step forward in that direction. I want to say one last thing to Marilu. Marilu, I know what it's like to become an author. I remember when I first became one. And what happens is one day you're just what I would call a normal person. And then one day you write a book and suddenly you become a different person. Suddenly you become an authority on something and the world looks for you for leadership. So I want to close my comments and one more time say congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. But, you know, I have had very hard time on convincing stakeholders, well, the CXOs in the organizations to work to invest on a data strategy. And when I found the work that James Price has done on identifying what is happening on managing the information assets, I thought, oh, that's the reason. That's how I need to sell the data strategies. But why don't you tell us a bit about this, James?
Marilu, look, again, like everybody else, thank you so much for having us. I want to build on something Bill just said, because it is incredibly important. And I've been working with the data leaders for a long time. Tom and I have known each other since since 2008. The issue that we have is that everybody's fizzing about data governance. Everybody's getting excited about data governance, but unless you have strategy to guide that data governance, it doesn't work. Now, my mates are all retiring. They're managing directors, chief executives, managing partners. They're all becoming non-executive directors, and they're all sitting on boards helping these organizations with their oversight and control of that organization. And I like to say to them, so boys and girls, how often do you ask to see the financial statements of your organization? And they say, James, you're an idiot. We ask to see them every single month. Every single board meeting, we ask to see the financial statements. And I say, well, that's fantastic. Good, well-governed, good board governance. How often do you ask to see the information statements? And then there's silence. And then they say, what are they? And I say, because I'm an economist, I think about the assets that we have. The first asset is money. The second asset is people. The third asset is physical plant and equipment and property, computer hardware and software. And the fourth is the data, information, and knowledge that is used in every single business activity, every single business process, every single business decision. I say, so how often do you ask to see the information statements? And they say, what are they? So, Marilu, what you're doing with this book around strategy is creating that link between everybody getting excited about data governance, but what is the business outcome that we're trying to achieve? And if you don't have that strategy, if you don't have that glue that brings it all together and guides the direction, you're rudderless. And Bill, I think you're absolutely right. It is a nascent industry. And in some ways, knowledge management has been around the place for an awfully long time. People have been handing down wisdom and the way society operates for tens of thousands of years, and that's been handed down in song with words used identically generation after generation. But here we are, we're dealing with this mass of data, information, and knowledge, and wrestling with how we drive that information so that it creates business outcomes. And having a strategy to guide that is incredibly important. Marilu, does that answer your question?
Sure, you did. And James has published very recently a book on all this stuff, on how important it is to convince the senior stakeholders on managing the information assets. So I grabbed some very powerful questions from that book, and I recommend that very much. As all the books of all my colleagues here, all my teachers, all my inspiration, role models that I invited today here. And but it makes me link this to the people, how relevant people is when thinking about data strategy. And for that, I think the best person to speak up is Tom. Tom, that has recently released a book on people and data, how people are related and important when defining data strategies. Tom.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate the push for my latest, which is called People and Data. But actually, this is about your book, not mine. and I really want to go back to something, the thing that like resonates with me. I I tend to start with this question in my mind: what is the problem we're trying to solve? And then and then what does the solution look like? And since I've been a member of the data community, the number one mantra has been get close to the business, get close to the business, get close to the business. And as best I can tell, people in data have figured out a way not to get close to the business, for as long as I've been around. And so the thing that I liked so much about your book is that anyone, who has some excuse, well, I don't know how to do it, or I don't know what to talk to them about, or I don't know how it's relevant, or something like that, they cannot, that excuse doesn't hold up anymore, right? This simple problem that, has handicapped us for so long is just, it is solved here, right? And it is solved with very, very direct. Number one, you need to do it. Number two, here's how. Number three, here's how again. Number four, here's how again. And I really, really appreciate that about the book. I do hope that, as people, as people reach out to the business, they realize more and more that everybody touches data. Everybody has roles to play, and if you really want to bring in the full power of your organization, you've got to embrace people. And I think our two products are going to work very seamlessly together in the future.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your words and all your support on this work. And well, finally, I would like to share some words from Hector Edvinson, who was another thought leader that accepted to participate in the book through an interview. He wasn't able to be here in person, but we have a video from him, so I would like to welcome that here.
Hi, I am Håkan Edvinsson, author of the Enterprise Architecture Made Simple, Acknowledge, Contributor of the DMBOK 2, and author of the Data Diplomacy book, covering data governance without bureaucracy, which has, when installed, led to two organizations, two clients of mine actually, coming up as finalists of the Data Governance Best Practice Award this year, 2023, and one of them actually being awarded. I am glad and I'm happy to be a part of Marilu Lopez's new book, Data Strategy for Data Governance, or Data Strategy for many purposes, data management purposes, that is. And I think it's a must read for anyone taking on data strategy work, simply because it's useful and it's credible. Credible because it relies on studies, scientific studies and experiences configured to a comprehensive working framework for data strategy work. And introducing the PAC method that Marilu Lopez has designed. And it's useful. And I'm specifically thinking of introducing business model canvas. Using business model canvases to designing data strategies directs everybody involved into what are the outcomes, what are the business values, and addressing what not only resources, what kind of behavior do we need to address in order to make this strategy becoming live, becoming something in the everyday work. Not only a piece of paper or a file left where no one finds it on the SharePoint site. So look into Marilu Lopez's new book and give it a try and give the method a try, I would say. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Hakan. Thank you for that. And well, we are at the closing part of the session. Thank you for joining us here. And the last thing I would like to tell before having the rest of the guests giving a last message is that the book comes with a companion, a web companion. The idea is that in that web companion that was produced by Treehouse teams here, is that you can find some of the graphs in the book, so you can include them in your own presentations to convince your stakeholders, your senior stakeholders, on how to produce data strategies. You can find the templates ready to use, and over the time we are going to continue putting there some case studies and some field templates, some field canvases, so you get inspired and understand what this is about. But we also want to hear from you or read from you. So we expect you to give it, like Hakan said, give the method a chance, a try, use it, and share your experiences with us and with the community of readers of this book that I hope will grow. Importantly, having people all around the world trying and reading this and trying to do that. So that's a web companion page that we have. And with that, I will just pass around with Danette for a closing message. And thank you for being here.
Well, congratulations again. I will encourage everyone, don't just buy the book, read it, start using it, make it really work for you and bring value to wherever you work. Congrats, Marilu.
Thank you. Thank you, Laura.
Congratulations, Marilu, and thanks for bringing all of us together. This was a great conversation. I'm happy to have been part of it. So many congratulations.
Thank you, Laura. Bill?
Marilu, I want to finally give you one more congratulations and to say that your life has changed. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Melanie?
Yes, Marilu, congratulations. It's a beautiful book, and I think it's very practical and useful. And I hope that many, many organizations benefit from it.
Thank you. James, thank you for being here.
It's absolutely my pleasure, Marilu. And what you're doing right now is bringing the data community together. I find these sessions just incredibly inspiring and innovating. You get really excited when you see such amazing people all together trying to give back to the global community, and that's exactly what you've done with your book. Well done.
Thank you. Tom, great that you made it in the middle of your vacations. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. One thing that nobody's mentioned about writing a book, but we've all talked about the hard work, and congratulations on the hard work. It takes courage to write a book, right? Because now it's out there, and people are going to read it, and you have to worry that they're going to go, "Oh no, right? I found this critical error right here." And
I know. I'm sure about that.
I mean, I see a lot of people smiling here, right? So I want to congratulate you not just on the hard work, but on the courage to get out there.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. And I want to say cheers to all of you for this. And this is exciting for me. And Steve, you have the closing message here.
Oh, wow. Well, just to Tom's point, I mean, we always purposely put one or two of those errors in just for people to find.
Yeah.
Notice that. And also, congratulations again, Marilu. We're very proud to have your book as part of our family of data books and have you as an author. And also, Marilu speaking for us at our Data Modeling Zone conference. So you'll have a chance to hear her in person at the end of February. So thanks, Marilu, for inviting me. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And
I'm
Marilu, if I can jump in, I have been so impressed. Look at all the people that have joined us, people from all over the world. I'm excited that they are supporting you and that they're finding the interest in it. And thank you for coming from all over the world. Lots of fun to see that. It really continues to encourage me. I love this data community.
Yeah, I'm very impressed. Seeing, well, I don't want to mention them because I don't want to miss anyone, and but I'm very, very delighted to see all the comments, all the people from different parts of the world, and that is what I wanted. I wanted to share this, that I think and I really believe that it works, that it can bring value, and I want to share it all around the world. It's not that I want to keep this for me. I want it to be used by all of you, so please give it a chance, and more importantly, give me feedback on this, whether it's good or bad feedback. I want to read you, and I want to read you in the web companion page. So thank you very much, everyone, for being here, and see you sometime in some road. Thank you, all of you, for being with me.